Hi, my name is Avery Zeeff, and my group members are Zach Schwalen and Stephen Rutherford. The commercial I am analyzing is for Adidas and is entitled, "I'm Possible. Impossible is Nothing." Zach will be analyzing a New Balance commercial entitled, "Introducing the 2 WXY V3 New Balance Basketball." Finally, Stephen will be analyzing a Go Army commercial entitled, "Emma, the Calling." The Jib Fowles basic appeal that our group is focusing our analysis on is the need for affiliation, as it is a common thread in the advertisements we chose.
It's impossible to take hold of the world spotlight overnight, create your own uniform, be a cover model, a powerful athlete, or compete as a trans woman. Impossible? No. I'm possible.
The product in the advertisement I chose is shoes and articles of clothing from a particular brand, and the commercial is essentially selling this brand to their audience. This particular Adidas ad focuses on targeting all women, so their audience is primarily women. The argument in this advertisement is that nothing is impossible. In fact, the title of the commercial is "I'm Possible." This ad features multiple of Jib Fowles' basic appeals, including the needs for affiliation, to dominate, and to achieve. In the commercial, there are many scenes of different women. One in particular is a short clip of a women's volleyball team playing together in Adidas clothing and shoes. This short moment in the commercial appeals to the audience's need for affiliation because it associates Adidas with being a part of a team of people who support you and share your same interests. In addition, the women featured in the advertisement are of different ethnicities, body types, and sexualities. This further shows the basic appeal of affiliation by presenting the Adidas brand as inclusive to women of all different backgrounds. Adidas, of course, wants to be able to sell to all women, not just female athletes. So, by including all different types of women in an advertisement for their brand, Adidas is aiming to show that their brand is for everyone. In addition to affiliation, the appeal of needing to achieve is exemplified through the narration of the commercial. The woman speaking urges women to take hold of the world spotlight overnight, create your own uniform, be a cover model, a powerful athlete, or compete as a trans athlete, and states that none of these things are impossible. While the narrator is speaking, clips of women in Adidas clothing and shoes are shown. This narration encourages the audience to strive to achieve their goals, whatever they may be, and represents Adidas as a brand that supports women's success. The advertisement's argument that nothing is impossible appeals to the audience as the idea that Adidas can support you in achieving anything. Another one of Jib Fowles' basic appeals used in this commercial is the need to dominate, and is somewhat implicit in its use. Throughout the commercial, the women shown all appear confident, poised, and self-assured, and are all wearing Adidas brand clothing and shoes. They are represented as powerful women and are shown dominating undertakings said to be impossible. The primary argument of the entire commercial is "I'm possible," meaning that I can do things that are impossible. The ability to execute seemingly impossible pursuits is a powerful capability and is represented by this advertisement as something all women can accomplish. Adidas's appeal to the audience's need to dominate reinforces their argument that nothing is impossible and again presents the brand as supportive to women's advancement. The combination of appeals to the audience's need for affiliation, need to achieve, and need to dominate all contribute to the advertisement's argument that nothing is impossible with Adidas. I would rate their argument as being sufficiently effective at gaining support for the brand as a whole. In addition, I believe the target audience of this advertisement will feel more inclined to purchase Adidas products in the future because they align with the commercial's argument that nothing is impossible. However, I think that the advertisers behind this commercial could have done a better job with promoting the products Adidas sells rather than solely selling the brand to viewers. In the ad, we see women wearing Adidas shoes and clothing, but there are not many still moments in the commercial where consumers can see the details of the items they are wearing. A more prominent display of the actual products of Adidas in the advertisement could go a long way towards gaining more customers in a shorter amount of time.
These guys at, man?
I'm not late. You're early.
Where you been at? My guy.
Yeah. Whoa.
About time, man.
And y'all thought I was gonna be the last one here. Y'all late.
What you call an icon living?
Let's hoop.
Label misfits just did it. Nylon cover 5 minutes. Whoa.
You have to get one.
Nope. Hot in the business. I need you to listen to the vision.
That's what I do, baby.
Money by the minute. I'm about to do it way different.
I am just an icon. Finally, man, what's up?
Check up, bro.
Hi, I'm Zachary Schwalen, and I will be talking about the New Balance basketball shoe. The name of the product is Two-Way V3, which is a two-way version 3. And it has been called this name because all the NBA players shown in the commercial are considered two-way basketball players, which is a basketball player that can play offense and defense to a high level and not just one specific thing. I think the name makes a lot of sense because the basketball players shown in the commercial are two-way basketball players, and it makes sense because the name of the shoe is called Two-Way. The audience for this commercial is anyone who still plays basketball, from playing on like a real court or even playing some pickup games like when you get older. But I feel like they're targeting certain people like high school basketball players or college basketball players that are still serious about like wanting to move on with their basketball journey, that are still playing competitive basketball to this day. And the Jib Fowles list, the appeals the commercial used were affiliation. People are going to want to buy this basketball shoe because NBA basketball players are wearing them, and they want to feel like they're affiliated with the NBA players that are wearing them because since like the best players in the world are wearing these shoes, it'll feel good to have these shoes on and play basketball in them because like in the NBA, like they're the best players in the world, and like those basketball players are wearing them as well. And the commercial also used attention, and I think this is because when you buy a new basketball shoe, you kind of want like all the attention on you because you spent money on that shoe, and like it's the new shoe that you just got, and like when you walk into that gym with your fresh shoes on, like you want everybody looking at you and all the attention on you. I feel this commercial used logos. I feel it used logos because it was showing proof that the NBA basketball players are using these basketball shoes. And also they're showing how the basketball shoes look in their different colorways. And it's showing proof that there's not just one colorway. Like the original one is like red and black. And then it has this a different colorway that's like teal, white, and like gold. So it shows like different types. It might be hard persuading certain people, like say for example like ranch workers or like plumbers, like to buy an actual basketball shoe, because they just really don't have need for it. Like they wear boots, they wear like flip-flops when they don't have boots on. So it'd be hard to persuade like certain people that don't really have the need for basketball shoes. And also New Balance is not the leading like basketball shoe. It's definitely going to be like Nike or Adidas, because Nike has Kobe and LeBron, and then Adidas has like Damian Lillard, and this could hurt the shoe, like how much the shoe will sell, because New Balance is kind of on they're like new, they're up and coming like with basketball shoes, and the price of the shoes is $120, which is a great price. Very cheap actually compared to like LeBron's or Kobe's, which are like $180 to $200. And it's also like these are NBA players that are using these shoes in game, so it shows that like the shoe is a quality shoe. Like it's not gonna rip, tear, fall apart. And for $120, like you're really gonna get the bang for your buck, which is a really good thing that New Balance is doing. And I would personally rate the effectiveness of this commercial a 9 out of 10. The commercial shows household names wearing the basketball shoe, which is a good way to convince the target audience to buy them. Some of the names were like Zach LaVine and Jamal Murray, who are up-and-coming superstars. And then I also like how Kawhi comes out at the end, and he's like in his own, like the camera's only on him, and it kind of shows his dominance. And because he was pretty much the first NBA player that really put New Balance basketball shoes in the public eye. And I like how they did that, and I think it just shows like how important Kawhi is to New Balance basketball shoes like as a whole. And now Stephen will be presenting his commercial called Emma, a Army recruitment ad.
Thank you, Zach. So first let's play the ad.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems. It begins in California, with a little girl raised by two moms. Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again. But she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet, eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class, and then attended UC Davis, where I joined a sorority full of other strong women. But as graduation approached, I began feeling like I'd been handed so much in life, a sorority girl stereotype. Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women, but what had I really achieved on my own? One of my sorority sisters was studying abroad in Italy. Another was climbing Mount Everest. I needed my own adventures, my own challenge. And after meeting with an Army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
Okay, so what is this ad? This advertisement is at its core selling military service. Hundreds of thousands of tax dollars didn't go into this ad just to inspire people. In recent years, the military has been facing a recruitment crisis not seen since the end of the Vietnam War. Stars and Stripes, the official military journalism branch, reported that in 2022, the Army expects to only meet 52% of its recruitment goals. Advertisement campaigns, such as the one Emma is part of, are representative of a larger military recruitment effort to staff the Army. Sergeant Major Charles K. Masters II said in a Cision News article that the advertisement campaign was part of the larger Army public relations effort to promote diversity, resonate with the values of the current youth, and make the Army more appealing to them. If the Army continues to fail in its mission of recruiting, it may reach a state of being so understaffed that it may not be able to properly meet its mission of to deploy, fight, and win our nation's wars by providing ready, prompt, and sustained land dominance by Army forces across the full spectrum of the conflict. So, what is the name of the product? Well, instead of being designed to sell a product, this ad is designed to sell the enlistment contract. The price of this enlistment contract is a minimum of 4 years of active duty and or 4 years of inactive duty service. Due to the nature of this product as a government contract, it doesn't have what we would typically define as a brand name. Because of this, there are not really any rhetorical inferences that we can draw from the name. However, most people are aware of the serious nature of signing an Army enlistment contract, as well as what they might have to endure during service. As a result, the product that this ad is selling has a lot of explicit and implicit baggage. Persuasively navigating through this baggage and delivering a pro-recruitment message is the challenging job of Army recruiters. So, who is this ad for? This advertisement is part of the larger Army recruitment campaign targeted at Generation Z, with this specific advertisement being targeted towards Gen Z women. The Army corporal featured in this ad, Emma Malonelord, describes her mothers as strong role models, one of whom overcame a physical disability. Emma is also portrayed as a strong role model who is academically accomplished, completes challenging Army training exercises, and operates Patriot defense missile systems. By championing these women's feats, underscored with inspiring music, the Army is attempting to persuade young women watching the advertisement to want to be like Emma and her mothers. Emma is a corporal in the Army. Emma's mothers are supporters of the Army. By associating being strong with joining the Army is trying to persuade young women that they too can become strong by joining the Army. Women comprise only 16% of the Army, while being 50% of the population. And this increased focus on underrepresented potential Army recruits is a core concept in the advertising campaign the Army is currently rolling. So how does this ad use Jib Fowles' advertising principles? The advertisement is primarily built on Jib Fowles' basic advertising appeal of need to achieve, and being secondarily built on need for affiliation. The advertising approach of appealing to need to achieve is based on a commonly shared core desire to complete something challenging, prove oneself, and out-achieve one's peers. This likely grew out of an evolutionary response to a competitive environment in which our ancestors were forced to compete against one another due to scarcity. According to Jib Fowles, utilizing this appeal associates your product with success and winning. Therefore, subconsciously, women watching this ad will associate joining the Army with winning. The shared desire of outcompeting one's peers is used in this ad, with Emma pointing to her sorority sister's accomplishments, such as studying abroad in Italy and climbing Mount Everest, and voicing that she wanted her own opportunity to challenge and prove herself. The recruitment advertisers are hoping that by displaying Emma's feelings of inadequacy compared to her peers, they can strike at young women's insecurities, making them more likely to consider joining the Army to address their shared feelings of inadequacy. This advertisement also uses need for affiliation. Emma is frequently shown in the ad in the company of loved ones and peers, in the form of her mothers and her sorority sisters. When the ad portrays Emma as feeling lesser than her peers, without purpose or challenge, she is shown walking through a dark corridor. She emerges into the company of her fellow soldiers, finding affiliation once more. This subconsciously associates joining the Army with camaraderie and belonging, playing on the need for affiliation. So, what is the response to this ad? Well, this ad has received severe backlash. On YouTube, this ad currently has 4.5 million views, with an extremely low like-to-view ratio, with only 1 like for every 346 views. A like-to-dislike ratio would have been helpful in this situation, but that was unfortunately removed by YouTube when they removed the dislike. Many comments on this ad were extremely critical, with some even personally attacking the featured soldier, wishing violence against her and making threats. This caused the Go Army YouTube page to decide to disable the comment section entirely. Many of these negative sentiments are unfortunately based in homophobia and sexism in response to the showing of an Army corporal who had been raised well by 2 mothers. Most of these responses were not from the ad's targeted audience. Some viewers have complained that this advertisement is typical of a larger trend in the military of a growing weak. Texas Senator Ted Cruz responded to this ad in a tweet stating, "Holy crap, perhaps a woke emasculated military is not the best idea." Senator Cruz had received backlash of his own for this comment, with one Army officer tweeting, "A senator called a U.S. Army corporal who dared share her story in an Army ad a pansy in order to score some political points. This is not right." It is unclear how being more inclusive in recruiting is causing the Army to get weaker, especially since the Army is already extremely short-staffed. This notion is likely based on the belief that women are not fit for Army service. I fail to see why being a woman makes one incompatible with operating missile systems and filling other critical military roles. Others have expressed ethical concerns over what they see as disingenuously cherry-picking minority representatives to promote military service and save face. This rebranding towards the values of diversity and inclusion is pretty sudden and atypical from how the Army has historically marketed itself through exclusivity. Many have defended this ad by pointing out that the fact that Emma's presence in the ad is completely voluntary. And for those who are already opposed to the military in the first place, this recruitment ad will not have done much to persuade them to join the Army anyways. While this advertisement undoubtedly had some success in persuading its target audience of young women to join the Army, going by sheer view count alone, the larger negative reception to this advertisement is undeniable and is likely fueled by algorithm-driven outrage. So, how effective is this ad? Well, I'm not in this advertisement's target audience, but I believe it's effective in accomplishing its purpose of persuading young women to join the Army. The most successful ads are the ones that are seen the most, and this ad certainly garnered a lot of attention, going viral in many circles. And that created a larger discussion of what was presented in this video. The creators of this ad most likely knew what response this ad would receive, because it was likely screened through focus groups. Advertisers know how to play on outrage to spread their message, allowing their ad to reach the people that it was specifically designed for. This ad also effectively uses rhetorical strategies by playing off of common insecurities, which are often the weakest points in our personalities and judgments. Thank you all for listening. We hoped you enjoyed our presentation on advertisements using Jib Fowles advertising concepts. We've learned through this project to take a step back and use critical thinking to see through manipulative advertising tactics, and we hope you have as well by listening. Also, side note, if you hate ads as much as I do, I recommend this ad blocker called AdGuard. Thank you very much.